I can tell you my age is negotiable, like the topic that I teach. Depends on who is asking me what time of day and for what. I was like you 24 years ago, and today I'm very privileged to join you here. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the United States State Department and IIE for this invitation and wonderful opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 4,000 alumni stories around the world. I think it's about more than 4,000 now. So it's really an honor for me that I get to share mine today. I know we all have different circumstances, but I hope some of you will find my story resonates with you, one way or the other. Seeing you here, it's really a walk down memory lane for me. Only the lane has changed. But the spirit, the stories, the feelings, the conversations are the same, and it's so wonderful for me to be part of this again. It's very easy for me, if I just think on a superficial level, to be very jealous of you. For many reasons. One of it is because the lane of the days that I was here has now changed into a multimedia superhighway. And you have a phenomenal explosion of technology with internet, email, cell phone, social media, and not to mention all the eyes from the great Steve Jobs. The iPad, the iPod, the iPhone, and everything. That makes life for you so much more exciting to be a Humphrey Fellow today and to have all this connectivity. I didn't have any of that in the days that we used to write letters, but I'm proud that I still have connections with at least 4 Humphrey Fellows from the days that there was no technology to help us, and that was through letters. I also want to congratulate you on being a successful recipient of this highly prestigious award. I know how excited I was when I got it, because the competition was so tough even then. You have scaled that mountain to be successful, but you know what Nelson Mandela said? After he climbed one mountain, he realized there was many more to climb. It's easy now for you to sit back and think, we are successful because we are clever, we have achieved, we have accomplished, we are the cream of the cream to be selected as a fellows for having achieved this success. But let me share with you a Zen story. Now, I think some of you may be familiar with this story. I'm not going to do any magic, and I hope I don't destroy the computer. Nan-in, a Japanese master during the Meiji era, received a university professor, learned, who came to inquire about Zen. Zen Buddhism, that is. Nan-in served tea, so he served him tea. Right? And when he served him tea, he poured and poured and poured until the visitor's cup was full. And the professor said, stop, 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 the cup is full, no more will go in. Like this cup, Nan-in said, you are so full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? So this is the year that we are like those professors, right? As an analogy, let that professor be us, the fellows, and let that Zen master be this HHH opportunity in the United States. Let us be willing and eager to empty our mind a little bit and create that space to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Leadership success is a never-ending journey, and I am still a WIP, not a VIP. Work in progress. I am an unfinished product. I have so much to learn, and let me share you a story. While on a plane to Jamaica a few years ago, Is that Kevin? This is Kevin. Oh, and both of you are Jamaicans? Well, someone told me very smart. But I said, a lot of Jamaicans are smart. So now, I was on a plane to Jamaica, and I was sitting in the plane. And there comes a woman trying to put a bag on the overhead cabin. And she was struggling putting her bag on the overhead cabin. And I had just come from Malaysia to London. I was changing flights, and I was tired, and I just sat back. And I looked at her. And there came a woman after her, carrying a lot of bags, and she put all her bags down, and she said to that woman who was struggling, "Here, let me help you with that." I was embarrassed at that point in time to call myself a leader, because I was just a bystander, sitting and observing somebody who was having a small struggle. Someone who was slightly shorter than me, who only needed that little bit of height to push the bag in and just turn it around so that it sits. And I was actually on my way to conduct a leadership workshop in Jamaica. And I asked myself, do I have the competence to lead? Do I have the skills to lead? Do I have the knowledge to actually lead? I questioned my own leadership and what leadership is all about. A leader, I think, needs to know how to serve first, to know and empathize with the needs of others. And this quote comes to mind. I think there are 5 of you from Myanmar. Can I see your hands? Myanmar? And this quote from the great lady in Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, who said, "To live the full life, one must have the courage to bear responsibility for the needs of others." And this brings to mind the concept of servant leadership. Servant Leadership was a book written by Robert Greenfield, who was an AT&T executive. Some of you may be studying leadership, you might know of Robert Greenfield. Robert Greenfield draws his inspiration from a book called Journey to the East, a mythical journey to the East, written by Hermann Hesse, where they were speaking about a band of spiritual leaders who were going through in a jungle or something, trying to find answers. And they had a servant with them, Leo, who was making the journey easy, who was facilitating the journey. The day that Leo was called away, this group of people couldn't move. So in actual fact, Leo was the servant leader for this group of people. So this is where Robert Greenfield draws his inspiration. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really not sure if we have seen anyone who has perfected the art of leadership, because it's a journey throughout life, and the targets for leaders keep moving. Quality is always a moving target because challenges are there, every day new challenges. There are many titled leaders who do not really lead. Some of us won this fellowship because we were titled leaders already. But there are many people out there who are untitled, who lead, like the lady in the plane. They do not need titles, they do not need rank, it only needs the desire and the spirit to lead to make the difference. Someone asked in one of these sessions, are Humphrey alumni really making a difference? Leadership success is not about getting that rank or title when you go back, it's about taking up the responsibility. Many alumni do not need any title or position to lead as long as they have the spirit. There are many who are making a difference. You may know them, I know some of them, and when you go back, you will meet some of them. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, there are some who come for this fellowship just for the ride. And I know in my country there are some who have come back and who are not contributing in a major way. There's one in my country who came to the United States and disappeared in the United States. He never came back. Right? There might be some reasons to do that, and one has to not to make any judgments at face level. Right? This year should be, and in fact can be, yet another laboratory in the leadership journey. Our workshop to design, mold, well, and shape us to renew the spirit of service in our leadership success, in our leadership journey. As an alumni, who am I? Shanta from Malaysia. Before the fellowship, I was a mid-career public sector Malaysian administrative and diplomatic officer. After the fellowship, I was a lecturer at the National Public Administration Training Institute. Some of you call it Civil Service College. 10 years after my Humphrey year, I started my own international consultancy practice. Today I am here to share my story of how the year was so pivotal in enabling me to turn my dream into a vision, a reality, and why I am happy myself with what I consider my success at my level. I want to put to you a scenario. Let's say after your Humphrey Fellowship year next year, you apply for a new position consultancy, bid for a contract to a multinational corporation, say an oil and gas corporation. There are 10 highly qualified candidates. All are graduates in engineering and some other diplomas from MIT with MBAs from Harvard Business School. All have about 10 to 15 years work experience in their own countries. And I put up a fictitious group of 10 people. There's John Smith from England maybe. Raima could be from Indonesia, she could be from Iraq, she could be from Malaysia. There's Lee, who could be from Korea, from Singapore. There's Ashraf, could be from anywhere in the Middle East. There's Kay, who's American. There's Shanti, maybe from India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia. There's Dwayne, maybe from the Caribbean, or maybe from America. There's Inagaki from Japan. There's Perez from the Latin American countries. And there's Sitabele from Africa. Now, take a good look at these candidates. I'll show you one by one. John, Raima, Lee, Ashraf, Kay, Shanti, Dwayne, Inagaki, Perez, Sitabele. Now, your group at your table is the selection panel from that multinational company. Your company is based in the United Kingdom. The selection panel is mostly people who have lived or have been educated in UK and Europe. By just looking at their names and their profiles, no interactions yet, no interviews, no conversations, you have not seen their full CVs. Tell me, who is the most preferred candidate to be selected? Who is the most least preferred candidate and why? I would ask you to discuss with your neighbor and give me who would be the two most